So a couple days ago, I posted a quote and you guys had some questions about it, so I wanted to address it in an IGTV. The quote was, when dating, if it's not epic, it's time to exit. Now again, this is specific to dating, not marriage. That's an entirely different conversation. But when we're dating, remember, and we forget this, I forgot it over the years, remember that dating is by definition an experience to see if you're a match. It is not the time to force you to be a match. Now we get this twisted. Why? Because we're really into somebody and there are so many qualities that are really a good fit, but those couple deal breakers are, oh, so annoying, but we'll make it work, right? So we keep forcing it, or maybe we just want to be coupled up so badly. We're tired of being alone. We're tired of being single. All our friends are getting coupled up. All our friends are married. It's understandable to sometimes think, well, I'll just work hard enough at this relationship and then finally, it will become a match. But that's not how it works. And I really worry when people talk to me or bring me questions about a dating relationship and there's so much effort that they're putting into it and they're wanting it to be a fit so badly, but it's clear it's not a fit. And I oftentimes am concerned that they don't have ears to hear that. They don't want to let go. And I get it. Like I said, I've been there. I've felt that. But I've also interviewed so many people, and I talk about this in the caption of the post, who got married. They pushed through those doubts, those red flags, those deal breakers because they thought, relationships take work. So when we're dating, it takes work and there'll be work in marriage. But a lot of these things will sort themselves out in marriage. No. They won't. And like I said, I interviewed a ton of people for my next book because, as you guys know, I called off a wedding. So I was also in the position of being so close to trying to force a relationship to go the distance that wasn't meant to go the distance. So I know about that. And like I said, my own personal experience and then the research that I have looked into and then also interviewing other people. Let me tell you, people in happy marriages, they didn't have tumultuous dating experiences. They weren't on again, off again 700 times. They weren't trying to force it, or they didn't just go, I guess it's the next logical step, so we might as well get married, even though they weren't excited about each other. Now, what I want to say, because I did get questions about this, I got questions like, well, how do you know how much work is too much work? Because of course there's going to be some compromise. Being part of a couple necessitates that we have to give and take. So let me give you an example from my personal life. When I met Dan, he was recently divorced and he had 3 kids. And those were things that I hadn't necessarily anticipated would be part of my future when I was a single girl in Chicago and just dating people who were also single. And I didn't necessarily think, oh, there will be an ex-wife and there will be 3 kids. Those seemed on paper maybe to be things that would be hugely problematic, or those could really cause a lot of problems in the relationship, in the dating even. But I took a deep breath because I really liked this guy. And I thought, you know what? I'm just dating. I don't need to have it all figured out yet. And if, as we're dating and getting to know each other and figuring out if we're a fit, if these realities become too much, then I'm sure that will reveal itself to me. And then I'll say, it's not a match. Or these circumstances that were something that I hadn't anticipated, they will become not that big a deal, because when you're with the right person, it is pretty easy. And things that may have been insurmountable challenges with some other person you were dating, when you're with the right person, they become a non-issue. And that's exactly what happened. We started dating, and over the next couple months, I realized that, okay, these were, becoming a stepmom potentially. Woo, I wasn't sure I could handle that. But you know what? As I got to know Dan and began falling in love with him and knowing his character and who he is, I came to understand that the challenge of becoming a stepmom was something I could absolutely do, because with him by my side, supporting us, our marriage, supporting me as the new stepmom, we could do this. And also bonus, sometimes life reveals to you a life that you didn't anticipate, but is amazing. I love my stepkids now. I mean, no, there was years of adjustment. It's not like the day we got married, I was like, I love you. No, that would have been disingenuous. I wouldn't have said that. It wasn't true at the time. But now, 7 years in, I love them dearly. And I've not only love them as people, but also feel very maternal toward them. They have a mom who's very involved, and that's wonderful. But I play a motherly role in their life that is very rewarding in ways I never would have anticipated. So getting back to the point, remember, yes, there'll be compromise, but it shouldn't be so hard when you're dating. And the things that you think might be hard, actually with the right person will become way less hard than you ever thought. I talk about this in depth with Dan, actually on my podcast in episode, I wrote it down. It's called, I think it's 34 or 24. Relationships shouldn't be all that hard. Remember, my podcast is Love and Life, and it's available anywhere that you listen to podcasts. But then I go in more in depth there as well about the reality that so often people talk about, you gotta work so hard in a marriage. My take on it is they probably married the wrong person in the first place. So I encourage you, when you're dating, be savvy. Love smarter, not harder. If it's so much work when it's dating, it's going to be more work when you're married. But on the flip side, oftentimes those relationships where maybe on paper that looks like that there would be more challenges you'd have to face, when you're with the right person, those challenges become so much easier than you ever thought they would be. So thanks for your questions, and love smarter, not harder when dating, by remembering if it's not epic, it's time to exit.